These are experiences that no one else in the world will have ever had and will be completely unique to you. Welcome to Tingledom. Hello. Let me just sneak in here real quick before the travel competition begins. I just wanted to remind everybody that next Monday, the 1st of June, Edwina Mortensen will be doing her first sessions, which will be on Delaware. She'll be talking about the etymology and the history of the names of the states. It'll be the first Monday of every month, and she is a premier historian of North American geography. So it's so amazing. So everybody, just don't forget. It's gonna be so good. Okay, I better get off the stage now. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to the 4th Annual Tingleling Travel Competition. Part of our proud history here in Tingledom of selecting special visitors and sending them on amazing adventures. Now the Tingleling Travel Competition is in its 4th year, but this tradition stretches back for a much longer period of time, centuries and centuries. And every 4 years, we have a special kind of travel. And you will have to not divulge the secret, but this involves time travel. So we have 5 lucky tinglings who will be sent on an amazing journey through time. So the format of our evening will follow. I will go through the 5 destinations, and at the end we will reveal which 5 of you lucky people will be going on these amazing adventures. Now, to help me in describing to you where we'll be going, we'll be using our trusty 1925 atlas. It is one of the most popular things in Tingledom right now, so I was very lucky to get my hands on it. So we will be showing the different places as we go through. So our first destination takes us to the year 2524 BCE. This lucky tingling will be added to ancient Egypt. So at this time, this is the reign of Pharaoh Khufu. Now, Khufu is the person who is entombed in the Great Pyramid of Giza. So your host in this lovely adventure be Ankaf, who is Khufu's half-brother, and also the Grand Vizier. So you will get all the behind-the-scenes looks and actually get to sit in on meetings as they discuss the necessary arrangements for building that grand and beautiful pyramid. But of course, meetings will not be the only thing you're attending. You will also get to go out to the site of the pyramid and see it as it's being constructed. One of the methods that you will see is the workers as they wet down the sand to move the blocks along. It's estimated that they're able to move with a third of the manpower that would be required if they didn't wet down the sand. Very intelligent, the ancient Egyptians. You will be fed the best that ancient Egypt has to offer, eating a hearty diet full of meat, cattle, sheep, and goat. You'll also get a visit to the quarry just to the south of this amazing pyramid. Now you and your 4 other compatriots going to your different areas probably have a few concerns, so I want to allay those now. Prior to any visits, you will be briefed on social customs, and you will be instructed in the expectations for how you should dress, act, and speak. On the topic of speech, we do have, again, this is very secret, only between us. You'll be using advanced technology from the future. So we will be injecting you with nanobots. These nanobots will look after your health, but the other thing they do is they work on the language part of your brain so that you will be able to converse and understand the language at your destination effortlessly. Now, the other thing I want you to be aware of, you will not be dropped solitary into an ancient land to fend for yourself. In each of these 5 time periods, we have our own representatives who have been living in that time period and will be your first point of contact when you arrive, and will make the necessary introductions and will always be a fail-safe for you. They are your best resource on any questions you have. So it will be an amazing, amazing trip. So shall we see our destination? Here you can see the present-day country of Egypt, and you will first be traveling here, and then we will be taking you through our time machine, and you'll be dropped away from civilization, so no one will see your arrival, of course. And you will be exploring through the area of Giza. It is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So that will be our first traveler. Traveler number 2 will be headed to Toogee, which is here. see it in a bit more detail in just a moment. Toogee land is on the western coast of present-day Tasmania, and the Toogee people have lived there for tens of thousands of years. Now, your visit to Toogee land will not be back 1,000 or 2,000 years ago, but will be in the year 1700. We have a lovely, lovely woman who we've made contact from that time, and she is amazing. Her name is Toogee, and she has made wonderful friends with the contact that we have sent back there. And so she will be able to introduce you to the tribe. Now you'll eat well. You'll be having shellfish, seals, mutton birds, penguins. And I just want to allay the fears of everyone that in the times that you're going to, the populations of these animals, or everything that you eat is at a sustainable level, so you don't need to worry about that. And if you are someone who is opposed to eating meat and the like, we may choose an alternative destination for you. It's important for these cultural experiences to blend in, and so if that does not work for you, obviously we'll be happy to find an alternative trip that will be perfect for you. In Toogee land, you'll also get introduced to the extensive modification of the land through fire that the Toogee and other indigenous people used. You, in such a short period of time, will only be taught certain basics. There are hierarchies for how knowledge is passed on, and so in such a short time you would not be permitted to learn all the depth of knowledge, but you will learn a lot just through observation. You will be staying in a well-appointed and very durable hut. This is made of tea tree and bark, and it's been thickly insulated with feathers and grasses, so you will stay nice and cozy, even on a cool Tasmanian night. One of the most special experiences that people talk about coming back from this experience is getting to use items that are made of what we call Darwin glass. These are handcrafted items made in traditional ways, and they are priceless, and we would not even be allowed to touch them in our present day, but you'll get to use them in your daily life as you're on this trip. This glass that it forms these tools comes from a naturally made glass formed when the meteor struck the Earth. So it is really, really special. This was many millennia ago. So Toogee, while you will have your present day touchstone, Toogee will really take care of you. She is amazing, and you will love her. And she has an amazing surprise for you. She has found a Tasmanian tiger, Joey. The mother had been killed, and so she's been raising this Joey. So you'll actually get up close and personal and get to pat and interact with a Tasmanian tiger, Joey. And you'll get to see the other ones as well. So this is an amazing experience. Obviously this is an animal that no longer, unfortunately, roams our earth. So that is one of my most favorite experiences to have at any time. And Toogee is amazing. So let's see where this is. This will be located right here. This is where Toogee land is. And there are still descendants of the Toogee living present day all throughout Australia, but the Toogee descendants still live on. So that is going to be an amazing, amazing trip. Now to our third traveler. You will be headed back to the year 1372 in Nottingham. Have you guessed who you may be visiting? If you guessed Robin Hood, you are correct. The legends are real. Robin Hood is in fact a genuine person, and we have tracked him down through time. And he's rather a friendly chap. You will be getting lessons from Robin Hood on archery, including making a bow and preparing armor. And the guise of this will be that it's for an unspecified quest. He seems quite intrigued by mystery, so it'll be fine with limited information. Now, at the time that we are sending you back to, there is a raid planned on the Sheriff of Nottingham's coffers. So, we can't guarantee that you will be invited on this raid. When you go back in time, lots and lots of things are left to chance. But if you play your cards right and get yourself in with Robin, you may be invited to take part. What we can guarantee is you'll also get to meet Little John and the merry men. You'll be eating and stay a night or two with them. You will also get introduced to Maid Marian, and we'll sit and have an afternoon chat and meal with her. So that will be wonderful. This is before her and Robin have fully gotten together. And one of the most special experiences, which obviously happened many times throughout Robin's life, so this hasn't been visited by anyone else, but we do know that during the time that you're there after that raid, they will be dispersing all of those funds, and it's one of the most touching experiences to see the impact that these merry men and Robin Hood had on their community. And so you'll get to be there for that. And you may be on the giving side or on a witnessing side. We'll be able to organize that, but you definitely will be able to partake in that. Now, your stay will be split between the village. You'll stay in a nice village home. We have a couple who are always willing to take in a weary traveler for a night or two. And if possible, we'll be having you stay and spend a few nights out with the merry men in the Sherwood this will take place. Obviously be in England and right here in Nottingham. You are going to have an amazing time. I've heard Robin is a wonderful host. So now let's move to Traveler 4. Where will you be headed? So you will be headed back to 551 BCE in the week the 21st to the 28th of September, which is the last week of Confucius's life. So you will be headed back to ancient China. Confucius lived to be 71 or 72 years old, so you will get to be there for his last week on Earth. You won't be there for his final moments. That obviously is left to his family members. But that being said, you will get to hear his last lessons, and your host there is actually going to be one of Confucius's students. So our contact there has made friends with the student and has explained our situation in terms that make sense for that time. And so you'll get to hear at the feet of a master, someone who has influenced philosophy and thinking on our earth for 2.5 millennia. You know, he mentioned the importance of strong family loyalty, veneration of ancestors, respect for elders, and probably best known for the golden rule, to not do something to someone else that you wouldn't want done to you. So you'll actually get to hear these words from his own voice. It's a truly remarkable experience. His age, obviously in his 70s. Lots of people like to retell stories of their lives, and he is no different. But rather than everyone else around who may have heard these stories, for you, this will be the first time. And you will get this treasure trove of information about his life and just his wisdom and that unique insight that no one else from our time has. Now you'll be staying with his student. It's a beautiful piece of ancient Chinese architecture. Chinese architecture is built out of timber, but rather than using nails or screws, built to be perfectly interlocking, which was done at the time to make them more structurally sound for earthquakes and the like. But it just gorgeous, beautiful, and it will look brand new to you. The diet in this trip is rather simple. Rice, millet, and tofu. At that time there wasn't extensive eating of meat or fresh vegetables, so it will be a rather meager diet, but this is more a feast for the mind. But everyone always enjoys a nice cup of tea as well. So that's where the true savoring experience will come from. And so, to see where you'll be going, obviously be in China. You'll be going to an undisclosed location. We will not tell you until closer to the time, because it's so important to protect the integrity of this man that should this information get out, it could be dangerous. So, keep it general for now. But that will be an amazing, uplifting experience. Now to our final traveler, number 5. Could be you. You will be going to 17,324 years ago. This is our longest trip, and this is the furthest back that we have gone to this point. And the guide who we have there has been living with this same band of 200 people for over 20 years. So you will get intimate knowledge of the workings of this group. And you probably are curious where you are going. Well, this is what makes this so special. You will be joining them for their journey across the Berring Strait. So, crossing from present-day Russia to present-day Alaska over the land bridge. This is a longer journey, and this is the longest trip that we will have. It will take a period of time. The other thing that we'll have to prepare you, unlike just the lessons and such for our other travelers, for you will be having extensive physical training, at least a month, but up to 6 months should you need, to prepare and make sure that you are physically fit enough to survive the very long trek that they are going on. You will also be equipped with skills that will help you survive at the time, but will not stand out. So skills that would be appropriate for other people of that time, so that you will not introduce any later technologies to these people. But this is a seminal and important point in the history of the world. You'll get to go and see North America for the first time. You'll be in the group who first saw North America before it had ever been inhabited by any other humans. A truly natural wonder. Now, for this trip, it will be important not just to have a willingness to eat meat or whatever food you may come across, but furs are absolutely essential. We're in the middle of an ice age at this point. It's very cold. It's very cold at night, and furs are the number one way to keep you warm. Now we have worked out a backstory for you, and we'll train you on that. And we always suggest adapting your true story as much as possible so that you don't feel like you're lying. It's a complicated issue, but it's important when you feel like you won't believe, which obviously most people aren't going to believe in time travel back in those times. And so it will be important for you to adapt your story to make it as truthful as possible, but for the understanding that's appropriate at the time, so that you won't be considered a heretic or anything like that. But all of this will be taken care of in your training prior, and there is a fail-safe in your nanobots that will prevent you from doing anything that would put you in an extreme danger in any way. So you will be there to be collected when the time comes. So let us see where you will be going. A bit harder to make out on this map since it spans across here. You'll be walking from this edge area over into here. And it is an amazing, amazing trip. So that is our 5 times and places. Now I will be announcing who our 5 extremely lucky travelers will be. First, going to ancient Egypt is Amber Louise. Second, visiting Terrakini in Toogee land will be Olivia D. Visiting Robin Hood will be C.C. Bannon Max. To visit Confucius will be 86 Paul 80. And finally, to go back to that historic moment when people first stepped foot on North America, Chloe M. We thank everyone who has been involved in this year's travel competition, and we wish you luck